Welcome to our relief stamp making. Hello, this is Mrs. Alston. I'm going to go over our supplies real quick. This right here is our bench hook. It's got our offset edges to hold our material, which is going to be an eraser today. And then we have the heads, our cutting tools. Oops. We've got two different sets. This set is our veiners, if that's pronouncing it correctly. Our veiners are the V and the U that are going to go into our handle. They're for our more detailed items. And then we've got our gouge right here. So that's like a big old shovel that's going to take out large pieces. So I'm going to set that aside. We have our eraser. That's what we're going to use to carve. And I've got my image right here. I'm going to use transparency paper because that way I can easily turn it around. Remember, everything that we do is going to be in reverse. So if it's letters or symbols, you want to make sure that you get those in reverse. So easy to do this is just using, I do have carbon paper here, but the carbon paper doesn't show up real well on the squishy eraser. So we don't really use it. Instead, we're just going to use the transparency paper, which I've already got on there. See, that doesn't show up real well. But this will show up well. So I turn it in reverse. Remember, if we want it to appear normal, we got to turn it in reverse because this is a relief print we're going to be carving out. I'm just going to trace over my pencil, and that pencil is going to be just transferred straight to the eraser. I don't have a lot of pressure. I'm not tearing my paper. I'm just putting enough pressure to hopefully transfer that pencil, and we'll see here in just a second. Here we go. Okay, look, and it worked. So that's great. So now we can start carving, which I need to adjust my camera. So just 1 second. Here we go. So now you can see better. I've got it on the edge of my table. That way, when I'm pushing on it, it's not going to be moving. I'm not going to accidentally stab myself. So the eraser just goes up against the board. I'm going to use a marker to trace. What I tell my students is anything that's black is what you're going to carve out. So of course, what I'm going to carve out on this side is just the words, which means everything but my words are going to come up with whatever color I am stamping with. So if it would be black, everything but my letters are black. Those would turn out to be white. I want to also show you kind of what it looks like to do it in reverse. So I sloppily put this on there, and then I covered everything that I'm going to cut out in black. This just helps students remember what they're cutting. So only cut the black. So I've got it set up here. Let me move my camera. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to use my smallest tool. It's a number 1. And let's put it in here. Oh, that is a really loose fit, but how you hold it, 4 fingers on bottom, thumb on top, and then you push away from your body. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I got some, terrible. I got some tape. I'm gonna put just a little bit of tape on there. You don't need much. It's just barely not wanting to work. So let me put some tape on. Get it on there real good. Nope, a little bit too much tape at the bottom. Let me get that tape off. All right. Ah, beautiful. That's a great fit. All right, 4 fingers underneath, thumb on top, and then we work going away from our body. And so I'm just going to press in and scoop. Remember, you can take more away if you need to, but you can't add it back. So we want to make sure that we just take a little bit away at a time. I'm doing a curve here. The curve, remember, don't keep going. Pick it up, turn it, and then continue your curve. We never want the blade to go towards our body. No flush. So right there, see, here's my hand. I got to turn it because otherwise I might accidentally stab my finger, stab my hand, stab my body. So we want to make sure that we're using our tools correctly. I'm going to kind of hold it back here. This is kind of small. So as long as my tool is not facing my body, I'm going to be good. We just got to make sure that we don't stab ourselves or somebody next to us. So always think, I know sometimes it's going to be easier to want to just continue through, especially since the eraser is really soft and really nice to carve, but this is good practice. So just make sure that you are carving away from your body. And all these little bits, we'll throw those away at the end. We want to leave things better than we found them. Here we go. Yep, sometimes I don't want to carve all the way through. I'll just flip it over and finish those carves on the other side. That'll give me a nice crisp edge there without accidentally carving away too much, because we can't add back. I'm gonna just get that groove a little bit deeper. All right, so there is that. And then on the other side, now we have lots of space. So I'm going to use my gouge tool, which well, not the gouge tool yet. I'll use that in a minute. But I'm going to use the bigger tool so that I can carve out bigger areas. I'm going to work around the letters, so I want to use that smaller edge. There we go. I'm going to clean off this edge and hopefully make it easier to lift up. There we go. Yeah, so when I carve up into that line, I should be able to just carve straight. And it doesn't matter how far down you carve, because the stamp is only going to pick up the raised bits. So, and you can do practice stamps to just make sure that you've gotten all the areas deep enough. Working around curves. Remember, I've got the black markers down. That way I'm only taking away what is black. This helps me visualize what needs to come away. Oh, I don't have it up there. Let's get a smaller tool to help with those fine details around my letters. There we go. Now the gouge tool is kind of excessive for this just because it is so big. It'll take nice big chunks out, that is absolutely for sure, but I don't have a lot of space to use it. And when I'm working around these letters, I do want the finer details so I don't accidentally take out my letter completely. All right, let's see. Here's the gouge tool. Nope. There we go. The moment I started using it, I realized I had the wrong one. The gouge tool is going to be that big shovel. And so as you can see, it's carving really nice. It takes out quite a bit. But on this little eraser, it's a little bit excessive. So if you have a lot of open areas, this will be good for those areas. There we go. All right. Just get enough so that you can get a feel for it. Let's move all this stuff away. And I'm just gonna leave that for now. Remember to carve out everything that's black. And I want us to, there we go. I took a moment away so I can get some ink. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and see how it turned out. And you can use whatever colors you want. These are the colors that I have. So this is kind of a pinky. So let's, there we go. Let's see. Make sure there's enough on there. And it came out. So here I could look and see if I needed to carve anything else extra. But it looks pretty good. Now I know I'm not done with the other side, but let's see what just the little bit that I did get cut out looks like. There we go. So it's going to work. It's going to look good. I can see some areas where I should probably carve a little bit more, but other than that, that's it.